I want you to check out though how I get to the road. Like, so what I'm going to be doing is the moment she starts to get ahead of me and pull, I'm immediately going to stop, and I stop her with the leash, and I also tap the e-collar at the same time. Now, I'm going to make sure you really work her a lot today and really get good at it before I leave.
Okay.
But I'll just show you a little bit. So I'm walking, she starts to pull, I tap, and I pull back and I wait for her to sit. If she does though, I will reward that.
Right.
If she'll eat, that's cool. If not, you can pet her. Usually the e-collar at first makes her a little like, I don't want to eat, and then she gets used to it again. She's like, oh yeah, right, it's not bad. So just like that. So I'm gonna start walking again. She starts to get ahead of me. I pull back, hit the e-collar, and again, it's still on a very low level. It's like not a correction. The correction really comes from the leash here. This is just telling her, hey, pay attention. All right, come. Cool, so as I'm walking, the moment that she starts to break and get a tiny bit in front of me, that's the moment you're gonna stop. Right, so if you're taking her on walks, this whole first week, your walk is probably gonna take, like, let's say you're trying to go down to the stop sign and back. Let's say you're trying to go down to those mailboxes and back, probably is gonna take you like 30 minutes. Okay. Just because, like, she's probably, especially with you and Nate, going to be going in front of you guys a lot.
Yeah.
And you want to start establishing that you need to stop with me, right? And kind of you need to focus on me. Again, if she drops her head, I'm doing the same thing. I'll turn into her, or I'll just stop, hit the e-collar at the same time. But then again, also reward her whenever she's, you don't need to say anything. You can say good, give it to her, or you can just give her the reward. It doesn't really matter. Come. When I start, I just say come. If she's a little behind, I'll just hop a little bit. Good girl, come. Good girl. So that's already pretty engaged there. She's still a little weird about the e-collar, so you don't really want to go up. You really need to stop around the dog right now, but I will always just randomly stop. And I'll give her, once she's engaged and stops pulling, like now we have her engaged, I'll give her the chance to stop without me doing anything. Okay. So I won't do anything. And I'll just stop. And if she does it, I'll reward that. But if she starts to pull, I'm gonna hit the button and I'm gonna stop immediately. But if I stop, if I'm just stopping, if she stops with me like that, I'm gonna reward that. Right, so the e-collar, you just want to use it really when she already is there at that point. And again, a lot of times I'm going to be randomly turning around 180. So I'm going to go, when I say tap, I'm tapping the e-collar. So I'm going tap, 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 till she gets back into position. Come on. Good girl. And I might even turn it down a little bit. Come on. Tap, tap, tap. Right when she's in position, I stop tapping. If she starts to lag behind, I'll just tell her with the just like, I want to kind of start shaping up that heel a little bit. I'm going tap, 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 tap. Good. Good girl. Down. Good girl. Sit. Good. And I'll explain how to use it with the obedience as well.
Yeah.
But today my goal is to make you guys at least really good with the e-collar. Like that's my goal. Because then you won't really need the leash too much as far as like correcting with it.
Yeah.
You'll use it as a guide.
Yeah.
Come. Good girl. Come on. Good. Good girl. Good. Come. A ball of anxiety this dog is.
I know.
Yeah. Good girl. But as you see, right, I'm doing a lot of stops, random times. Right? You want to keep her on her toes. This is going to build that leadership and respect for you. Where she's going to respect you on the leash and she's not going to, oh, I gotta go. Right? And anytime she makes a mistake, like if say there's a dog over there and she decides to go after the dog, I'm immediately going to say off and I'm going to tap the e-collar at a high level. Off, tap once, and I'm going to continue. And she's going to go, ugh, and I'm going to say, yep, don't. Right? I'm going to show her, hey, not okay anymore. But it has to be immediate. The moment she takes off, I'm like, I go up, tap.
Okay. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so you want it to be like high enough to where she's like, oh man, right?
Listen, I got her at 10 today and it stopped her what she was doing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I go pretty high. I go pretty high with that stuff. I'm like, hey, knock it off. And again, that'll just build a lot of respect. But again, it has to be the moment she decides.
Yeah.
The very moment she goes, bet, boom, right? I'm like, nope. And
Right.
then I continue. Then I
Right.
just continue on. I'm like, no, off. And then I say, come. Come. So there's 3 tools you have into teaching her how to walk nicely like this on a leash. 1, you always want the leash like this. I'm never
Right.
walking with pressure. So tool number 1, that is just doing your stops and your pullbacks. She auto sits. So if you do that, if she doesn't sit, I hold pressure up. I don't say sit though. I just hold it until she sits, and then I'll say good and reward her. So you have very abrupt stops. And when I'm stopping, I'm pulling it. I'm pulling it back so that she can't get ahead of me. And it shows her, hey, you need to stop. You need to be beside me. Tool number 2 that you have is you have your inward turn. So she starts to get a little ahead of you, or at any time you just want to turn, I'm going into her and I'm turning.
Okay.
Good girl. What? I'm not really saying heel with her yet, but
Right.
I'll start teaching you that. So again, you can just at any time feel free to just turn into her and then keep pushing. Gets ahead of me, turn into her, keep it pushing. Then you stop randomly. Reward her if she looks at you, sits at you. And then you have your outward 180 turns, where you just randomly turn the other way. If she's lagging behind a little bit like this, I just little taps on the leash, bring her, and then I'll say, good girl, and I'll praise her when she's in position. Good. But to get to this point, it took us, 1, having her wait at the door, correcting her for busting through it, then telling her to sit, walking past her, she broke the sit, I corrected her for it, and then she was like, oh, okay, I'm back to this. And now she's like, got it, pay attention.
Right.
Then in the yard, she was used to polling for the week, so she's like, oh, bet, and I'm like, nope. And I did just this for about a couple minutes, broke her, let her go potty, and then now she's like, got it, back to the, so since she's built this, it'll be easy once you guys understand how to do it right. Easy to get her back to where she has to be. So as far as like the leash walking, I'm going to teach you the tap and turns.
Okay.
Right now. Good girl. Good. Good girl. So, before the tap and turns, I'm just going to have you give you a abrupt stop. So just like this, we're going to be walking, and you're just going to abruptly stop, backwards, and then up if she doesn't sit. When she sits, you can go ahead and, you don't have to give her food at this point. You can praise her, but like the food helps. So when she sits, just go ahead and praise her. Okay. You can pet her, good girl, and just let her know she did good. So I'm going to give you the leash. I always like to hold it with 2 hands. Always make sure it's loose though. And when you want her to move, you just simply walk. Yep. And you can give her a tug forward if she's a little far behind. Now go ahead and stop randomly. Boom, good girl. And you can go ahead and pet her for that. So right there, you'll press her up. There you go, boom, pressure up. So pressure back is to stop the forward motion. Mm-hmm. Pressure up is to sit. Yep. Okay. And that, you'll just want to make a habit of doing that this whole week. Every time you stop, back, and then up. It's kind of like you're like putting a car into like neutral, like a manual. Yeah. That's what I liken it to. So you're always going to switch gears. Good girl. So now from there, pop, pop, pop forward. There you go. There you go. Good.
She's still watching you.
Yeah, she's like that guy.
No, she trusts you. That's okay.
There you go. Go ahead and stop. Boom. Go ahead and pet her. Good girl. Cool. Go ahead and start, and then I want you to do a... Stop. Just start walking. Yeah, don't even say anything. You just start. Yep. And then again, if she's lagging behind, you're just forward. Pop, pop, pop till she gets in position. Now you're gonna turn, left turn into her and go towards my wife. Yep, just crowd her space. There you go. Now stop. Pressure up. Yeah, don't pop there, just continuous pressure up. Yeah, so it'll just be pressure, it won't be a pop.
Okay.
Boom, pressure off. As soon as she sits, that pressure turns off. Very good. Go ahead and stop. Pressure straight up. Boom, pressure off.
I keep pulling her back.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's a little bit of finesse. It'll take some learning. Once you guys get good at this, there's no doubt she'll be really, really nice. It's just like, once you transfer dogs after a board, especially a dog like this, it's easy for them to go back because the owners
You
now
told
need
me
to learn.
that. Yeah, I get that.
But
I'm sure I wasn't perfect this week.
oh yeah, that's all right. I don't expect you to be perfect with a little 2-hour lesson. Like it's gonna take a couple lessons really. A dog like this for sure, like 100%. Go ahead, stop. Boom. Like so, pulling to me, as soon as her paws are ahead of my toes, that's pulling. She doesn't need to be all the way out here to be pulling.
Okay.
So as soon as she breaks that threshold, you're either A, stopping immediately, or B, turning around,
Okay.
or C, turning into her.
Okay.
One of the turns or stopping immediately. Boom. Very good. Very good. Hopefully no off-leash dogs get out today. I don't want to have to yoke up no dogs, man. Not today.
They had,
Go ahead and there you go. And just hold that pressure until she sits. Boom.
they were walking Teddy again the other day, but they had
Oh,
a
no.
6th grader doing it. Or
Oh,
a 6-year-old doing it. I mean, the kid was tiny.
Boom. Very good. And it's going to feel like a lot of like stopping.
Right.
The more you go, the more she's going to want to pull. So now go ahead and do a 180 turn to the right.
Oh, to the right.
Yep. And just start walking. Don't even stop for her. If she stops, you continue. There you go. Yep. And just from there, pop, 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 pop forward until she gets beside you. Perfect. Now go ahead and stop. There you go. Good. You can pet her for that. Very good. Just continue walking. And she should follow. There you go. If she doesn't follow, she's just going to get hit with the momentum of you going. Now go ahead and stop again. There you go. Now, from there, I want you to go more a little back and a little less poppy, more pressury. So like not really so much like bam, because you don't want it to really be a correction. Leash pressure is just information. You're just telling her, hey, sit. But you're not saying wrong, you need to sit.
Okay.
So like a correction is telling her, hey, that was wrong, punishment kind of thing. So you want it to be less, just more smooth, just steady pressure. And you don't really want her to get ahead of you. So I'll go back first and then I'll push up.
Okay.
Go ahead and stop. Okay. And if she swings out, that's all right now. We can fix that too if you want to later on. It's not
As long as she goes down, I have.
yeah, right. One thing at a time.
Right.
Good. Very good. Now do a 180 turn to the right. Just keep walking, don't even. There you go. Go ahead and stop. Steady pressure off. Good. Very good. Good girl. That was good. Go ahead and stop. Boom. That was a
Good
good one.
girl. Good girl.
Cool. Stop. Good. Pet her for that. Because that was automatic. Very good. And just start walking. Don't even look back. When you start, if she doesn't follow you, don't even look for her. Just continue. She's either going to get clotheslined or she's going to follow you. Now do a left turn into her and go towards my wife. Boom. Perfect. Perfect. Now do another left turn. Yep, and don't even mind where she is. Pretend she's not even there. She'll learn to move out of the way and like kind of go with you. But again, I'm not kneeing her in the face.
Right. She's already walking.
It's just all about
She was off and towards the stewardry.
yeah, it's just all about leash management. Probably because she allowed her without knowing it, but well, if you don't allow her and you show her you can't do that, she won't do it. And the more you stick up for it, the less she's gonna be inclined. Oh, if I know if I can get away with it, I'm gonna do it kind of thing. So now do a 180 sharp right, 180 turn to the right. There you go. Go ahead, stop. Very good. Now, when you do your 180s, I want you to do something like this, just like, bam.
Oh,
straight
quick
up.
pivot.
Yeah.
Pivot.
Pivot 180, yep.
Pivot.
Pivot. Yeah. So right here, you see how she's looking?
Yep.
She was looking when they barked. I missed the timing, but I would have said off and popped it on the e-collar
Okay.
for fixating like that. I'm gonna say off, leave it alone.
Okay.
And then I would have kept it pushing. I would have just, boom, that was that. Now we're going again. So now you're gonna do a pivot 180 to the right.
Pivot.
There you go.
Pivot.
Now do a left turn. Yeah, right into her. There you go. That's all right. She'll learn. She'll learn.
Pivot.
Do it again. Very good. Now stop. Just wait till she sits. Press her up. Boom. Right there. Cool. Now continue. Do a left turn. Boom. This is how I want your walks to look for the first week.
Okay.
Don't
we won't
even
be
worry
going
about
around the
getting
block.
around. No, no. Don't go around the block if you can't even get up the street without her going crazy.
Okay.
Yep. If you want her to get exercise, buy like a 30-foot leash, play ball with her.
Yep.
The walk is really for you.
It's on the list.
Yeah, it's on the list. Cool. Do a left turn. Good. And then stop. Press her up. Good.
Good girl.
Very good. Yeah, hopefully they can see a little bit lessons over here. I'd like to get him on this level too. Does this make sense so far though?
It does.
Yeah. Is this a little different than what you were doing, or were you doing this and just it wasn't working?
I think we're just so used to going out and walking
Yeah.
and seeing what happens.
Yep.
And he would come back within like 5 minutes. I'm like, what happened? And he's like, well, I had to stop every time she took a step.
If she really struggles, that's when I'll like reward her. Good job, you did it. Like, cool. So right now, do a 180 to the right.
Right?
Yep. And I always like to watch where the dog is. As soon as she's a little bit ahead of you, I'm doing one of those three things.
Okay.
And it's gonna feel like a lot, but if you
Well,
do
I
this,
don't walk very fast, clearly.
very good. Yeah, it's not about speed. It's just about control and technique, really. Now go ahead and stop. Boom. So you're doing a good job with this leash work. Do you feel okay with this so far?
Yes.
Pretty got a good understanding of like the two turns, the stop.
Yeah.
And remember, it's not very much popping. It's just pressure.
Okay.
Very good. Very good. Now go ahead and stop. And just wait. If she doesn't sit, you can apply a little bit more pressure.
There
you
it
go.
is. Good girl.
I just really want you to be aware of how your leash is and make sure that it's always got a dip and it's not tight.
Yeah.
It's only tight when you're either telling her to sit or you're like doing your 180s or something.
Uh-huh.
But other than that, it should always be loose. And she should have the option to be able to make the mistake, and then you can do something from that mistake.